Bus case study number 3. This is Baldor Group 2022. Michael has been a PSV driver for many years. PSV?
Public service
vehicle.
Yes. He is always professional, and some other people refer to it as passenger service vehicle as well, but it's public service vehicle. He is also professional, is always professional in his approach to work, and conducts daily walk-around vehicle checks, including plates before taking charge of any vehicle. Okay, the walk-around check, how often?
Every 24 hours.
At least once within 24 hours, and the RSA recommended time?
10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15.
In his first job as a tour bus driver, Michael noticed that tourists carried a lot of luggage. He learned quickly how to stow and distribute luggage and pay attention to passenger limits. Fortunately, how much does 15 passengers weigh?
Ton.
Yeah, according to the RSA. So there's a question in there about 2 tons or 30 passengers, so remember that. Fortunately, his employer
Could you say that again? How many? 15 passengers?
15 passengers. The RSA thinks 15 passengers weighs a ton.
Right.
There's a question in there about 2 ton or about 30 passengers, one or the other.
Okay.
Just remember, 15 passengers is 1 ton.
Okay.
Michael noticed that tourists carried a lot. What?
I said write it down. You're gonna need it.
Yeah, Michael noticed that tourists carried a lot of luggage. He learned quickly how to stow and distribute luggage and pay attention to passenger limits. Fortunately, or luckily, his employer was patient and took the time to explain things like stability, axle weight, the legal limits of each vehicle, and the effects of overloading on tyre wear. What are the effects of overloading?
Loss of control.
Loss of control, instability, yeah.
Fuel consumption.
Fuel consumption goes up. Yep, wear and tear on the tyres and the brakes.
Damage the road and
yes, environmental damage, and it's illegal. It's unfair on the other people that are working within the laws. Stopping distances are affected. Braking power and stopping distance. Okay. Michael often travelled on bridges, roads that had a maximum gross weight and height limits. Maximum height of a double-decker bus.
4.75.
Maximum height of a single-decker bus.
3.8.
Maximum weight of a 2-axle bus.
18 tons. 19
yeah, go on.
15.5, is it?
Yeah, 19 and a half, is it? Yeah.
19.5, yes. Maximum weight of a 3-axle bus.
26.
An articulated bus.
28.
28, good. Some of you have been studying. Gross weight and height limits to prevent damage. You knew that the weight difference between an empty bus and a full coach could be as much as 7 ton. Remember that comes up in a question as well. RSA believe the difference between an empty bus and a fully laden bus can be as much as 7 ton. Michael calculated the gross vehicle weight of the bus using the unladen weight, the number of passengers, plus an allowance for fuel, passenger, and luggage. When planning a route, Michael considered the size of the bus. He knew the legal maximum width and the length of the bus. What's the maximum width of a bus?
2.55.
And length of the 2.55 and length of the buses and coaches. What's the maximum length of a 2-axle?
13 and a half.
13.5.
2-axle.
2-axle.
Yeah, 13.
13 and a half. A 3-axle.
15.
And an articulated bus.
18.75.
18.75, yes. Drove as always a swept area of each bus. Maximum inner swept area of a bus.
5.3.
5.3. Maximum outside swept area of a bus.
12.5.
12.5, yes. What's another word for swept area?
Turning circle.
Turning circle, exactly. In recent years, Michael observed the introduction of different types of bus lanes, quality bus corridors, QBCs. He also liked to get an early start so that it would arrive on time and could use the bus lanes that normally operate between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Some bus lanes are only bus lanes between certain times, yeah?
Yeah.
When the road was wet, Michael followed the 4-second rule. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
A point highlighted in TV road safety campaigns. He was particularly aware of this on motorways where vehicles are travelling at much higher speeds. Michael's latest assignment involved driving a school bus or private company for the school year. The bus had an emergency dry chemical fire extinguisher and a warning triangle, but no other emergency equipment. What should it have?
Hammer.
First aid.
First aid equipment, absolutely.
The hammer thing for windows.
Yeah, hammers for the
Yeah.
windows. And then it should have its triangle and its extinguisher. Dry chemical fire
Yeah, I was
extinguisher.
going to say
That's an
CO2
unusual
one,
one.
wouldn't you?
You'd normally have maybe water or you'd have a CO2. Or powders, like I said, is very, very messy, especially indoors. Had a proper internal lighting and was fully fitted with seatbelts. Internal lighting is part of your CVRT, commercial vehicle roadworthiness test. If you have you have to have a light in the stairwell, and if it doesn't work, it won't pass. When necessary, Michael turned on the interior and exterior lights. He used the high intensity fog lights during low visibility. Michael's bus was fitted with stability control and anti-lock braking systems. One morning as he left, he noticed that his ABS light did not go out when the bus started or moved about 5 kilometers an hour. All the other lights in the system warning panel worked normally. So what should he do?
Make a report.
Pull the switch, pull the fuse out.
Yeah, you shouldn't be driving it. If the ABS light doesn't go off, you shouldn't be driving it, should you?
No.
And definitely report it.
Oh, but isn't that why the CVRT came in? Because someone did pull the fuse on the
Sorry?
ABS. There was a bus accident in the country, and there was an ABS light came on, and when they put it in for a check, and the guy pulled the fuse, and that's why one of the accidents happened. That's why they bought in that CVRT.
All right, is that I didn't know.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what some fella told us that on one of the CPC courses.
No, I will believe it. I know.
No, he just said he just pulled it. It's what they used to do. They just go, oh, it
Yeah,
must be a faulty thing.
That
They
was
pulled the
very
fuse.
common practice. Lads, even now it's common enough practice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They
If
can't, they don't now. That's
you
why
look at the bus,
CVRT
you look
get
at the
bumped.
bus and there's no lights on, you don't go through every fuse. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's not time effective. You wouldn't do that. So yeah, if you have a warning light that won't go off, which happens, you can just pull the fuse. And if it's not part of their CVRT, the actual checks, they won't notice it. But listen, shouldn't be saying things like that. It had begun to rain before Michael started work, and it seemed the rain would continue for some time. He had planned his route. However, not far along the road, there was a traffic hold-up, and Guard had directed traffic onto a diversion route, unfamiliar to Michael. On the diversion route, Michael had to deal with low trees, adverse cambers. What's an adverse camber? What's a
steep
camber,
road.
first of all?
Road.
Steep road.
Road runoff.
Yeah, it's the hill on the road, so the water runs off it. An adverse one is one that's not straight, so your vehicle would be like leaning to the left, leaning to the right. There were low trees, adverse cambers, cables, ESB poles, and some overhead obstructions such as shop blinds hanging over the edge of the road. Michael noticed a road sign giving the gross vehicle weight allowed on the road. What is GVW?
Gross
Design
vehicle.
goes great.
And what is DGVW?
Design gross
vehicle.
Design gross weight.
And they're exactly the same thing, yeah? And what's the formula for GVW?
Vehicle load and fuel.
Yeah.
Vehicle load and fuel. Fortunately, this was more than the gross weight of his bus, so he's fine. Eventually, he rejoined his planned route and saw that the cause of obstruction was a double-decker bus stuck under a railway bridge.
Mhm.
The blue lights in emergency services flashed hypnotically. What does that mean, hypnotically?
Just constant.
Why are they hypnotic? What does hypnotic do?
Puts them into a
But
trance.
it's like flashing.
Yeah, into a sleep. So the blue lights in emergency services flashed hypnotically, like sleepily, making him sleepy. So he's obviously tired, is he? Michael noticed in his interior mirror that a number of children on his bus were not wearing seatbelts and were standing in the aisle looking out the window. So what do you do?
Tell them to sit back down and put the
Yeah.
seatbelts on.
Exactly right, yeah. As he waited for the hold-up to clear and listened to the sound of the rain, Michael started to feel sleepy. He thought about his years as a PSV driver. During this time, he had seen the scale of private bus and coach services increase. He noticed that a lot of European coach operators were using triaxle coaches. Okay. European Union regulations now govern international transport, and the introduction of the euro had done away with currency exchange rate fluctuations. Yeah, it wasn't an economist that wrote this scenario for sure. To qualify for international work, Mike would need a European community license and a bail bond. Okay. European community license is for the operator. He's not the operator, he's a driver, isn't he? Is he an operator or is he a driver? Mike has been a PSC driver for many years.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the operator that has the European community license. and bail bond is the insurance on the vehicle. So that again would be the operator, not the driver.
And it doesn't say he's an owner driver. If he was an owner driver, he'd need one, would it?
If he was going to a European member state, yeah. His employer would have to comply with international road transport rules. Finally, the double-deck coach was cleared from the railway bridge, so he went on a diversion just to get back to the blockage. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Michael could continue his journey. So I don't understand that. He was on a diversion, he went back to where the blockage was, and then he had to wait for it to be cleared. Does that make any sense to anybody? Okay.
No.
He looked forward to his
Who writes
next
this crap?
assignment. He looked forward to his next assignment as an international driver. Nothing there.
I was just a normal driver.
Okay, his next assignment must be an international driver. So that was bus scenario 3, Baldoyle Group 2022. Most people who watch these videos like and subscribe. I'd like to say thank you.